It is time for the latest and the most comprehensive breakdown of the biggest news stories from Western Visayas and around the country. I am Joseph Diamante and this is Panay News Wrap-Up. From 750, Iloilo Governor Arthur Defensor Jr. further trimmed down to 550 the number of Ilonggo locally stranded individuals returning to the province per week. In Executive Order Number 128H issued on Thursday, Defensor also said this 550 included repatriated overseas Filipinos. The EO took effect immediately. Only a maximum of 300 passengers shall be allowed in inbound flights per week for air travel and a maximum of 250 passengers in inbound voyages per week for sea travel. The 250 passengers in inbound voyages also have a cap of 200 passengers per week from Luzon and 50 passengers per week from Mindanao. As for airlines, only a maximum of 300 passengers shall be allowed in inbound flights per week and shall be carried at a maximum of 100 passengers per flight. 44 households in a neighborhood at Zone 2, Barangay Barrio Obrero, Lapus District were on a 3-day surgical extreme enhanced community quarantine. 2 new cases of COVID-19 were recorded in the neighborhood just days after a resident there died due to the viral illness. They were a 39-year-old female or patient number 820 and a 71-year-old female or patient number 821. Patient number 820 is currently in home quarantine while patient number 821 is being isolated at the city's quarantine facility. Mayor Jerry Treñas ordered the neighborhood lockdown beginning Wednesday, July 22. His executive order number 105 series of 2020 covered 20 households considered as high risk, but 24 other households considered as medium risk were included in the lockdown too. Border restrictions in the cities of Bacolod, Iloilo, and Iloilo Province were lifted on July 22, less than 24 hours after local government units issued separate travel bans. Iloilo City Mayor Jerry Treñas apologized for the inconvenience. Mayor Evilio Leonardia, for his part, said they have all agreed to reopen the borders immediately. Leonardia talked with Treñas and officials of the Western Visayas Regional Task Force on COVID-19 Wednesday morning. To recall, Treñas set a travel ban on those coming from Bacolod City and the rest of Negros Occidental Province due to the rising number of COVID-19 cases. This also led Iloilo Governor Arthur Defensor Jr. to issue travel ban at ports for incoming passengers from Negros Occidental. Leonardia subsequently issued border restrictions for those coming from Panay and Guimaras Island. He said his order was primarily in reciprocity to Treñas' order. The Department of Health has detected a total of 11 areas in Western Visayas with clustering of COVID-19 cases. According to Dr. Glenn Alansabe, epidemiologist of the DOH in Region 6, 8 of them were recorded within communities while 3 in hospitals. Alansabe explained a coronavirus cluster occurs when there is a concentration of local infections in the same area at the same time. The 11 COVID-19 clusters were the following: Barangay Paho, Lambunaw, Iloilo; Barangay Matabang, Talisay City, Negros Occidental; Barangay Biaub, Nelbagan, Negros Occidental; Barangay Kabadyangan, Himamaylan City, Negros Occidental; Alimudyan, Iloilo; Bingawan, Iloilo; New Lucena, Iloilo; Manapla, Negros Occidental; St. Paul's Hospital, Riverside Medical Center Incorporated, and Western Visayas Medical Center. Alansabe said infected repatriates were excluded in the clustering of cases. He advised local government units of concerned areas to impose partial or localized lockdown to stem further the spread of SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. And those were this week's latest headlines. This is Panay News, the #1 digital and printed news in the region.